something that's really gonna push this partnership and push everything forward. So
yeah,
yes,
bet.
sir.
So hey, no, so let's go and get let's go and kick it off, man. Let's go and get started. So first and foremost, man, welcome. Keep it thorough Thursdays. We back again, episode 36. This episode is going titled addressing depression, right? And I think depression is something that is beginning to be talked about more often and more frequently, like starting to kind of somewhat be normalized. But not everybody necessarily knows how to deal with it. And I guess there still might kind of be somewhat of a stigma attached to it. But yeah, so episode 36, it's your boy E Double.
What's up, good people? Cedric Lavelle here, and yeah, man, we've had the opportunity to do this thing 36 times, man, and we just moving along, man. Appreciate everybody who tunes in every week. Appreciate all the great feedback that we get. A lot of the kudos that we get, and we're just gonna keep being consistent, man, and trying to shed light on a lot of topics that we feel are beneficial and can certainly be helpful to many people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, most definitely. So yeah, addressing depression. Hey, and I want to add this in there. We are not medical professionals. Um, we are not psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever. I don't,
I do have an MBA, but that's for business though, so I don't really count.
We smart. I wasn't questioning the fact that we were intelligent, but we are not.
Yeah,
we are not doctors. So take what you hear as you will, you know what I mean? If it's beneficial, makes sense to you, if you can relate, so on and so forth. But we're not here to diagnose nobody with depression or anything like that, just kind of talk about what we go through, how we feel, how we deal with certain things, so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off. Note to self, get to the other side. Go and tell them about it, Sid.
Yeah, get to the other side. So I'll just use our current state of just environment, world, things that we've experienced collectively as a country over the past few years, man, and just many of the things that we've had to experience from an emotional standpoint. Some of the things that we've had to really address, with having so much idle time, especially, when the beginning of the pandemic kind of struck and everything that went on, and first time that all of us really have experienced something to that magnitude, having to be at home for these consecutive amount of months, things just changing everywhere, and in that moment, or in those moments rather, you're faced with many challenges, a lot of uncertainties, things that you felt that you were progressing towards now having to be shifted, or just some of the goals that you may have aligned for yourself having to change now, or even just that idle time, you know what I'm saying, being by yourself, or being with someone that you really don't like, whatever the case may be. But I know
might have learned during that time that you didn't.
Yeah,
really like.
you learned that you didn't like the person. Like, God dang, I really don't like
We
you.
wasn't
Like
spending
I
this
thought I
much
did.
time before.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of different emotions, man. A lot of different feelings that could have potentially developed over that time, right?
I want to add on that to like what we was talking about, though, right? I think that's the time where a lot of people were going through a form of depression. You know what I mean? And then even lingering now, I feel like some after effects of that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it, man.
Because there's never really a time where that many people are forced to have to cope and deal with this new, really way of life that ain't went back to normal, man. It really was like something out of a movie, man, like a horror flick or something, like a plague or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's challenging to really contextualize it, because like I said, man, it's something that none of us would have expected or could have saw coming, but we really had to shift, and make adjustments. And some people were able to navigate and get through some of the more challenging times more effectively than others. And some people struggled through it, and some people may, like you said, may still be struggling in those after effects, and so when it comes to depression, like you were saying, like there's different levels of depression, right? And I know I've seen it from many different levels, from severe standpoints to middle to medium, but just addressing it comes from all different types of spectrums, and there's different ways that you can go about dressing it and dealing with it. But with getting to the other side, it's mainly just knowing that there's a different opportunity that's there. You know what I'm saying? That there's an opposite side to whatever it is that you're dealing with. To every action there's a reaction type of thing, or to one thing there's always an opposite side to that. So just really embracing that idea that yes, I'm experiencing these challenges. Yes, I'm experiencing hardships. Yes, I'm experiencing so many different feelings that were unexpected, or I didn't see coming, or I'm still dealing with these frustrations and whatnot. But really, with this particular topic, is more so about mindset. You know what I'm saying? And really trying to look for the better in the situation. Really trying to find the tools and find the answers to progress you towards better and getting you on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And not really just staying stuck in the situation that you're in, and not allowing it to cause you to feel like there's no opportunities, or there's no way out. So really just knowing that, hey, I know I'm experiencing this, and I know I'm going through it, right? But I know there's another side to this. I know there's better. I know there's an opportunity that's ahead of me. So really, note to self is really just encouraging yourself that there's another opportunity, encouraging yourself to continue to push forward, encouraging yourself to not give up, to not allow your situation to get the best of you, and really just look for the other side, right? Really just get to the other side. So with that, three things that I would say can certainly be beneficial for you as you progress and as you look to get to the other side would be: one, to surround yourself with people that assist you in shaping better thoughts, right? And so anytime that you're dealing with these challenges, you want to be around people who can really build you up and really just listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been around people who've dealt with depression before, and a lot of times they just want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like they just want somebody that they can talk to and vent to. And a lot of times not even just looking for advice, just somebody who can just listen to them. You know what I'm saying? And if they're receptive of you saying something, you can give them some sort of encouragement. But really, a lot of times people just want to vent, right? So just getting yourself around people who can really shape better thoughts and help you enhance and improve, that'll certainly be helpful in getting you to the other side, right? And then the second thing would be understanding that silence is never a good source for comfort, right? And so if you're experiencing something and you're going through something, you don't have to deal with it alone. So that goes into, the first thing that I said, so if you're having these challenges and these hardships, knowing people that you can communicate with, whether it be trained professionals that can help you out, or whether it just be people that's a part of your accountability circle, but using them as soundboards to help you and get through some of the most challenging moments that you may potentially be dealing with, right? And then the last one is just staying hopeful and finding help when you feel low spirited. And that just kind of explains itself, right? Like like I was saying, like being hopeful that there is a better opportunity, being hopeful that there is another chance for you to make things correct, or you to right the wrongs, or for you to just better your situation, and not allowing yourself to just be, stuck in the sand, and seeking in sorrows or in despair, but really looking to move forward and see the brighter days ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%, man. I agree with everything you said. To circle back to your point about surrounding yourself with people that assist and shaping better thoughts. Um, you mentioned there being like different levels of depression, right? So obviously there's, I would say, like mild cases, you probably just in a bad, haven't been in a good mood, haven't like been feeling like yourself, maybe a little sluggish, not productive, that might be like a mild case. Or obviously in extreme cases, you get to people who are maybe suicidal or whatever the case may be, just
Right.
extreme, just bad place mentally, right?
Yeah.
Um, but with those swings and elevations and lowering in somebody's mood, hey, what's good with you, Cat? With somebody's mood, it's not always possible for that person to kind of pull themselves up, right? So to
Yeah.
like go to the point that you made about surrounding yourself with people to assist in shaping better thoughts. Like, don't be scared or afraid to ask for help, right?
Right.
Like, seek professionals, and that goes back to what I was talking about before we got started about there kind of being like a stigma attached to like depression,
Right.
right? Where like people may not necessarily want to admit that they feel depressed because they, might be ashamed or afraid of what other people may think, which I feel like that's starting to kind of go away a little bit. I feel like more people are starting to kind of like understand and realize that it's something that everybody goes through. It's not
Right.
like you're not weird because you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
depressed. Like I've dealt with depression, said he's dealt with depression, you know what I mean? Nothing severe in my case, but I've been in some bad spots that I've had to shake myself
Take
out
yourself
of.
out of.
Yeah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And go back to the point about um, the pandemic. You know what I mean? And being locked in the house, not really being able to go nowhere. Working
Challenging,
working
man.
from home. Like you think you want to work from home until that happens. You know what I
Right.
mean? All you doing is at
Working
home.
from home. That's all you doing.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
For sure. Yeah.
You living from home. God damn
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Working,
Like
living,
life from home. You know what I mean? But
all of
yeah,
the
so
above.
I just wanted to touch on that piece before we left out. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out to professionals um, and get some assistance
Yeah.
and make sure you're feeding yourself positivity, right? Like
Yeah.
uh, um, you got to put things back into that emotional piggy bank, right? Is what I
No
might have
doubt.
learned that at Verizon, bro. That might have been a Verizon
Probably have. It sounds
emotional
like
piggy
something that
bank.
we would have learned for
Because
sure.
like things obviously get taken out of that piggy bank, right? Like all these bad situations and things you go through, takes away from that. So you got to make sure that you feeding back into it, so
Absolutely.
you don't go into the negative, right? Which can lead to things like depression. So next up is applying the management process, right? So what do we mean by that? Like really it's a way to kind of manage your thoughts, manage your feelings, manage how you deal with certain things, deal with emotions, deal with feeling, down and now depressed or whatever the case may be. And how do you do that, right? By performing the needs analysis. So finding relief may require a new approach. So obviously whatever you let me not say obviously because sometimes depression can sneak up on you, right?
Expect. Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can be doing everything right, you can be in a very positive place, and just out of nowhere, you know what I mean, you just feel
It hits you.
down, you just feel, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, you're in a bad spot. So let me not say like obviously what you're doing isn't working, because that's not true. But what can occur is you may be trying something new. You may be doing something new. There may have been a change in your normal course of activities that is causing you to be in this place or to feel this way, or you know what I mean. So paying attention, you know what I mean, to different changes, things that you just went through, whether like a new job, a promotion, added responsibilities, a new parent, um newly married, whatever the case may be,
Right.
multiple things in your life that can have to take a toll on your mental state, you know what I
That
mean,
awareness.
and the pressure. And so yeah, being aware. But what are some of the things that you can do to kind of help to put yourself in like a better place, right? The very first thing is add physical activity to your day. Man, I can't tell you enough how much of a difference it does to my mood to wake up in the morning, get a good workout in, and then start my day.
Yeah.
Like I literally can have a headache. My back could be hurting a little bit. I don't know. I could just be tired, when I first wake up,
That's
all
old
these different
age.
things.
That's old age
Well,
too.
yeah, maybe I'm young, but said old though, so it might be old age.
I was talking about you. I was talking about you. I'm a young.
but
I'm a
but
young. I'm a young.
but anyway though, like all those things when you first wake up, go to the gym, knock that
Yeah.
out, get that blood flowing, breathing. Like I got allergies, I might be kind of stuffy a little bit in the morning, whatever the case may be. Man, go get a workout, be feeling like a brand new man. You go get in the shower, come back in the shower, get dressed. You ready to start the day, man. And the next thing you know, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock. You've been up for 2 hours already and knocked out a bunch of things, and don't nothing make anybody feel good more than being productive. Like when you look back and you like, man, I did a lot today. Like I got a lot done today. Like I'm making progress. Like that makes everybody feel good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a positive thing, right? Next on the list is to journal your thoughts often, right? So write your feelings down, maybe. Write down what you're going through. Write down thoughts that you may have of things that you want to do. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But journal your thoughts. Some people that's why people have diaries, right? Some people really like to write things down. It's therapeutic for them. You know what I mean? It's a stress reliever. It's just something about, you know what I mean? Something about it. So journal your thoughts.
It adds clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Clarity,
A
right?
lot of times when you
Well,
get stuff on
exactly. Because
paper, it gives you clarity. Yeah.
being able to see your thoughts,
Right.
that definitely brings clarity.
Absolutely.
100%. I agree with you 1,000% on that. The next thing in that list is make time for meditation. This is something that I actually need to do better at. Like this is something that I've done. I guess a version of this is when the Apple Watch be telling me to breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like relax, bro.
Nah,
Take some
for sure.
time to just chill, meditate, relax, breathe. Everything's cool. You know what I mean? You good.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what's going on around you, take time for yourself,
It
relax.
it's active breathing. I want to comment on that too. So
Go ahead.
there was a podcast I listened to. It was a couple years ago, man, and it was this podcaster guy named Jay Shetty, right? And I can't remember all the specifics of his story, but the thing that I do remember about him was when he became a monk, and he was saying like one of the first things that they teach you is breathing, right? And I found it interesting that they teach you how to breathe. You know what I'm saying? And bringing an understanding of how important it is to breathe and actively breathe throughout your day. Because when you think about it, anytime that your emotions change, your breathing patterns typically change. Whether you're mad, whether you're upset,
When you
whether
get
you're
that blood
frustrated.
flowing, that heart
Yeah,
start
you know what I'm
racing, you
saying?
breathing
All of
hard.
that. You're breathing hard, you're breathing slow, in a minute breathing, like it all changes up, right? And so when you're actively breathing and controlling your breaths and doing breathing exercises throughout the day, it really brings about a sense of calmness for you. You know what I'm saying? It really puts your mind at ease and puts your body at ease. And it allows you to address the situation. It allows you to endure whatever it is that you're experiencing within that moment. It gives that blood flow and that oxygen back into your brain so you can really think with clear thoughts. So man, just actively breathing. Yes, obviously, doing meditation, and everyone has different forms of meditation, whether it be you just having your moments of gratitude and speaking about some of the things that you're grateful for, whether it be affirmations, that you do on a daily basis, whether it be with chakra alignments or whatever it is that fits you.
Yeah, that said over here speaking different language shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hey,
I
I be trying to study that stuff, man.
ain't never had my chakras aligned. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So,
and that might be why you know what I mean. My life might be. You know what I mean?
you got to get that thing back in balance. You know what I mean? But
I've heard of that though. The chakras.
Yeah. It's
chakras.
bringing the body back
I just
aligned,
like the word
man,
chakras.
and creating that balance. And so just even in those things, just finding that balance in your life, but also within yourself, from a mental standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, everything, just making certain that you're focused and you're centered on what it is that you're wanting to progress towards, right? And so, yeah, meditate, breathing, actively breathing throughout your day. Take moments to take deep breaths, 10-second breaths, all do all of that, because it certainly helps. I mean, I do it
Yeah,
throughout my
no,
day all the
and
time too.
the Apple Watch should do that on you. It'll hit you like take a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
when then
obviously
it
it's
hit.
the reason why they telling you to do that, right?
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm
right,
saying?
right, right. So yeah, so make time for meditation. The next on the list is stay connected with loved ones. And I want to add that, right, loved ones isn't necessarily just family, because in
Right.
my opinion, blood's not always thicker than water, and not all family is blood. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
So
got you.
stay connected with those that you're close to and that you care for, and you know they care for you, because they'll provide you with the best advice and actually, you know, genuinely want to see you in a better place versus being around the fake friends, and you know the ones who just want to party and want to milk you. You know what I mean? Like
And
so
that's a
pay.
big thing too, bro. Like the loved ones. Like I ain't mean to cut you off, but
No, you good.
like
You
I said,
good.
I've seen people deal with personally. I've seen people deal with significant levels of depression, as far as suicidal thoughts and cutting and all these other types of things. And one thing that I recognize within those moments is trying to help that person see the value in themselves, right? Trying to help that person see that they have a purpose, that they have more that's prepared for them, or that awaits them in their future, right? And so giving that encouragement to those individuals to, not feel as if no one loves them, not feel as if that their life doesn't have value, because everyone's life has value, right? Every
Absolutely.
experience, every challenge that you go through, it's valuable for you. It's beneficial for you, right? Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you, right? You know what I'm saying? So having that understanding that, yeah, I may be going through these situations, but for some reason that I'm going through this, I know that it can be for my good, right? And like I said in the beginning, it's all about a mindset thing, like changing the way that you perceive a situation and really trying to be optimistic as you approach it. Because like I said, man, you can get stuck into a situation and you can stay there, and it be challenging for you to get out of it, because you feel like there's no hope for you, right? But like you just said, man, like staying connected with loved ones that can, affirm you and let you know, man, you have value, you have purpose. Like, we love you, we want you to be better. We're here for you. We're listening to you, right? And so, really, like you just said, man, stay connected with those people. All right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
Next one.
thousand percent. And then the last but not least, right, is make new experiences a priority, right? Um, you never know like the impact things will have on you until you try them, right? Until you do new things and experience new things. Like take that new role, travel, you know,
Travel, yeah.
to that destination you've been wanting to get to. Like if you've never traveled internationally, do that. Uh, you know, experience those new things. I know traveling for me, even just in the States opens your mind, but when you really get to travel across that ocean, right, and you're surrounded by nothing but people who speak, you know, their native language, and you know you're kind of, you know, the,
Fish
I
out
don't
of
want to say
water.
outcast, but you're the you know the odd one out. You're not
Yeah.
the, you know, but definitely opens your mind of those type of experiences, and just getting cultured. And but yeah, so make new experiences a priority, whatever that means for you. You know, get outside of your comfort zone and do new things.
Do new things for
So like,
sure.
what's the impact of performing the needs analysis and trying to incorporate some of these things into your life, right? Evaluating problems and identifying potential solutions can close the gap from where you are and move you towards where you want to, where you would like to be. So, and really in life, evaluating problems and identifying the solutions is the way you want to just deal with life in general,
That's
business,
enough.
life,
Personal, professionally,
relationships,
physically, all that.
you know, everything.
Relational,
Identify
go ahead.
solutions and or evaluate problems and try to identify possible solutions. You know what I mean? Potential solutions.
Absolutely.
So by doing those, right, those things, by performing that needs analysis, you can kind of see where you may be lacking or something that you may want to put a little bit more time in. And then by doing that, you know, those are potential solutions that can make you feel better, that can put you in a better place, that can motivate you, uplift you, keep you going, move you one step closer towards those goals and your mission purpose, right? The point of your being, right? But so moving on to the final section, a well that never runs dry. So focusing on mental wellness. I'm gonna let you kick off the first three, and I'll take the last two, and then we'll close it out.
All right, bet. Go ahead.
Angie, what's up? But yeah, go
So
ahead.
so so first, so we got five of them. I do the first three. E gonna do the next two. So first one, recognize what triggers your emotional levels to rise and fall. And so in the beginning, when E was talking about awareness, this goes really hand in hand with being aware, like being aware of those things that upset you, being aware of those things that cause you to feel down, depressed, sad, all these emotions. And we are emotional people by nature. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is. And I know we've done an episode on emotional intelligence and really
Very important.
understanding, how emotional intelligence really affects you from the sense of how you perceive things, how you
How you respond to
process
them.
things, how
Yeah.
you respond to certain things, and I was it was just a Breakfast Club episode where was it Joey Badass was on there, and he mentioned understanding emotional intelligence and being introduced to that and not knowing what it was in the beginning and realizing like, oh shoot, like this emotional intelligence stuff is real. Like when you really identify with certain things and how it affects you and why you respond in these ways, it opens up a door of opportunity and clarity where it's like, oh, okay, this is why I feel this way, or this is why I respond this way, or this is why I get triggered when such and such does this and does that, right? And so I encourage, I can't remember which episode it was, but emotional intelligence. We did an episode on that. Eric, if you find that, go to that. But also just do some research on emotional intelligence, right? And
Episode 14, emotional
episode 14,
intelligence.
there it is, emotional intelligence. But go back and revisit that episode.
22
A lot of
episodes ago in this
a
thing.
lot of good talking points on that, right? The next one is always do temperature checks before addressing challenging situations. And so anytime that you're going to approach a situation, especially when it's hostile, if you know it ain't for you, you got to fall back. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to readdress those things when the time is more appropriate, right? And in many times or many instances, right, when situations kind of occur, a lot of times people want to just hop right into it, and when you just hop right into it without the proper mindset or without really just evaluating the situation and what it is, you may respond in a way that not only hurts the other person, but it hurts you as well too, right? And you got to, like you said, you got to breathe through it. You got to really breathe through those situations and kind of just evaluate it. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people that's close to me all the time when it comes to these challenging situations, or when it comes to these spats that you have between one person and the other, it's like, what benefit does it bring you when you're yelling or when you're upset and you're handling it with so much frustration and so many of these emotions that
Well, see,
don't go
what's
ahead.
funny is what happens is it's not even about what it was about no more. It's about
Yeah.
just trying to win the argument.
Win the argument. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you just really got to ask yourself, like, and I got to do better at this still to this day. So you know what I mean? But you got to
Good
ask yourself, like,
transparency moment right there. I like that.
what are we trying to accomplish though,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
what are we doing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Really being able to
Like
ask
what's the
yourself
end
that and
goal?
calm down and get to a place of more clarity and calmness, right?
No, for sure. For sure. And that's it's important to do that, right? Because like you said, man, when the attention is taken off of the result, and it just becomes an argument about who's right and who's wrong and going back and forth, you don't come to a conclusion, you know, and whether that's with a spouse, whether it's with a friend or whomever it may be. It's all about finding a solution, right? Like there's a problem, let's get to a solution. Like let's find out the answer. Let's get to a place where we both can I don't want to say agree to disagree, but where we're both comfortable with what the outcome can potentially be, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's a compromise or a little bending on one end and on the other, like you want to get to a place where you can find a solution, but you definitely want to do a temperature check on yourself, right? Before you even hop into that conversation, because then if you don't, it's just gonna do more harm than good, and that ain't what you want. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna contribute to your overall wellness, right? And then the next one is be aware of changes in your environment that might directly affect you. And so he was just actually talking about that in the last slide that we was going over. But knowing what's going on around you in your environment, whether it's job changes, whether it's certain things with your kids, certain things that's going on with your family, certain things that's going on in the world, certain things that's going on in your job. You know, we are triggered by so many different things that go on around us every day. You know what I'm saying? And if we're not careful about how we go through our day and the awareness that we bring into our day, there could be things like you said earlier, E, that'll creep up on us, and like it'll take us to a place that we didn't expect to go, right? Because we just weren't in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't really just evaluating the environment that we were in, and then something happens, and then it happens, and then we get triggered, and then everything just goes, shit, it's just the fan, right? You know what I'm saying? And all these challenges start to happen, and now you don't know what caused it or what makes you feel this way. And so obviously, man, you got to be aware of your environment. You know your triggers. Self-awareness is the key. Know yourself first, right? And when you know yourself, that helps you in navigating tough situations. You know your limits. You know when you have to pull back and assess the situation differently, or you know when you have to pull somebody else in to help you in navigating through whatever it is, right? Like we can't endure and go through life by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why it's not good to suffer in silence, right? Because you're trying to get through a situation by yourself. But if you're challenged, open your mouth and say something. You know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody, find somebody that you can connect with. But when you know yourself, that certainly allows you to better evaluate what situation may be challenging for you, and then give you the best approach forward in order to get to the result that you're looking for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the next two on the list, right? So never spread yourself too thin trying to solve someone else's problems.
Dang.
I got a saying, right? I can only help you as long as it's not hurting me, right?
Yeah.
So and that applies to anybody in my life, friend, family, or whatever, you know. If it gets to a point where me helping you out is starting to negatively affect me, then I can't help you no more because nobody's being helped at that point. If I'm helping you, but I'm hurting, then who's winning? You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
so never spread yourself too thin, getting caught up in other people's issues, other people's BS, other people's problems. I know sometimes it's just human nature to kind of want to help your best friend, help your brother or your sister or whatever, but just be mindful, temperature checks, right? Like, okay, your help can only go so far, right? Because if it starts to have an issue on you, and those people are the ones who count on you, who do you have to count on, right? Who do you have to lean on and to, you know? So you got to be very, very mindful of how much you giving of yourself, right?
Right.
And do not spread yourself too thin trying to save the world and everybody else's problems. It's definitely good to try to help people out from time to time, but at the end of the day, you know people, right?
Yeah.
You typically know the people in your life. You know your brother, your aunt, your uncles, your sister. You know they habits and
They
how
have
they
it.
normally
Yeah.
interact. So you have to act accordingly, right?
Yeah.
If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you just got to be real with yourself, you know?
And you got to be comfortable with making them decisions too. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? A lot of people just be like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to, I don't want
You
to
got to be
offend
comfortable with
nobody.
making them and living with them. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely, bro.
both. And then last on the list is find sources that can improve, empower your belief system. So this just goes into the whole saying like surround yourself with like-minded individuals, right? Y'all don't have to be completely aligned, but have common interests, right?
Yeah.
Common goals, things that y'all are both working towards. And that'll help to, if you're in a bad place, right? We're talking about addressing depression, right? If you're in a bad place and you're around others who are interested in some of the same things you are, I'm trying to think of examples. Like the first thing that come to my mind is like entrepreneurial stuff, right? So like if you're
Yeah.
trying to buy houses or something like that and going to seminars and you're surrounded around people who are doing those same things, like it's more likely to kind of put you in a good
Better
mood,
headspace.
yeah, in the headspace and make you feel better about yourself. So if you like knitting, go to some knitting classes, whatever the hell you like to do, surround yourself with people.
Yeah.
And that may be, people that are already in your circle. It may be your homeboys, what I mean, your best friends, your girlfriends, whatever the case it is. Just make sure to find sources, which in this example I'm using people as that source, or your kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever puts a smile on your face, warms your heart, make you feel good, uplifts you. You know what I mean? Those things help to improve your thought process and your well-being, and empower, you know what I mean, your thoughts and how you feel about
How
certain
you
things.
feel?
Gives you
Yeah.
some confidence, for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and let you hit them with the final thoughts here, and then we gonna
Bet.
close out.
All right. Final thought. So pouring into your well-being can be consuming, right? But it's a critical process that will strengthen areas of helplessness and hopelessness. So far too often, problems can have the potential to put you in paralyzing positions. But by finding the ambition to push yourself forward, ahead is a road of many useful turning points, right? So don't be stuck into situations where you feel paralyzed, right? Find that ambition that's within you, and everybody has it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has that switch that can cut on and give you the ambition and the fuel that you need to push yourself forward. You just have to have something that you desire so much that's going to keep you pushing, because we all know, man, like life can be hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like challenges are inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Hardships, they come and they go. Like difficulties, they come and they go. That there are many situations that are going to come about as you live life that's going to challenge you. You know what I'm saying? That's going to stress you. That's going to cause struggles. And we know that. Like no one has ever lived a life and not had to face some sort of adversity. You know what I'm saying? And some may be more significant than others.
Which ain't for us to judge, right? Because
Right.
somebody's 5 is another person's 10,
Exactly. You know what I'm
and
saying?
vice versa.
And vice versa.
I like what you said though about not being paralyzed. I'm sure we all know people that are in situations where we like, how the hell you get in that situation, right? Or
Yeah.
like what was you thinking? Like you smarter than that, or like whatever the case may be, right? And sometimes those people were just in places where they in such a bad mental state where they're like, "What? Ain't nothing gonna change." Like, ain't, you know what I mean? Like, don't be that.
Right.
Don't get in that headspace. Like, things can change, and it takes you, and take it a day at a time, right? Make those
Right.
necessary adjustments. And over time, you'll see you'll see change. You'll feel better. But definitely don't be paralyzed. You got to do something about it.
Yeah. And it's like the compound effect. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it from an investment standpoint, but drunk all the water, didn't even know it. But when you look at it from an investment standpoint, right? When you invest and you have that compound interest, that outcome is going to be significantly favorable. Any investor that invest will tell you compound interest is the way to go. Like if it's compounding, the result is going to be favorable. It's good. It's going to be in your outcome, right? And so if you look at it from the same perspective when it comes to um, doing small things to get you to the other side, just like we were talking about in slide one, to get you to the other side, the outcome is going to be favorable. You just have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? You got to just take that road of those challenges, but really just stay focused on being optimistic. You know what I'm saying? And finding those solutions, like doing the needs analysis and seeing certain things that you may need that can kind of keep you on that road to get to those turning points where you can say, okay, now I'm seeing some light. Like now I'm seeing some changes. Now I'm seeing things begin to look a little bit differently because every day I made, whether it's one step or two steps in a positive direction, I did something that can help me get out of this situation, man. So you just got to
Yeah,
compound
and
on
what you
top of each
said
other.
about like the temperature checks, right? Like I feel like along with that is just having like accountability checks, right? Like ask
Absolutely.
yourself, what did I do today to try to put myself in a better situation, right?
Right.
Like what did I do today to try to, like uplift myself or motivate myself, or
Yeah.
what did I do today to take it just one step further than where I was yesterday? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and you got to be real with yourself, like, okay, nothing, right? Okay,
Right.
well then
Yeah.
that has to change. You can't, keep doing the same thing and expect
And
different
expect to get a
results.
different
That's the
result.
definition of insanity, right? So it's like, okay, well, if you can identify, okay, I didn't do nothing. Okay, we'll do something. You know what I
Right.
mean? Even if it's small, right? Even if it's a small change or an adjustment. Back to what Seth was saying, that compounded interest over time. A whole bunch of small adjustments every day for a month, 30 days. You look back, you didn't made a pretty significant change, or
Right.
so very, very important to do that.
And read. You know what I'm saying? That's probably
Well,
one of the
everybody not
easiest
gonna
things.
read. I don't think you
Man,
have to read. I love it. I'm
I
reading
I
now.
say that I say that, man.
You should read
I'm
for
a big
sure.
I'm a big advocate for reading, but I say that because you can be in the same room, right, and having all these different things going on, but you open up a book that gives you a different perspective. Your environment may be the same, but your mindset starts to change. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, yeah, no,
And
and
that
I, and,
that
and I,
that
I,
makes
I agree with you. I think
that
reading
makes a significant
is
difference. Now everybody not gonna read, but
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, your environment and your surroundings may be the same, but you start reading a book that can potentially help you and give you a different perspective and a different approach about how you're going about doing something. Man, that can make such a
The
significant
the, the,
impact
the,
on
the,
you.
cra- the crazy thing about reading is it really kind of does similar things to you that like traveling does. It
And
like
yeah,
really
it takes you to a different
it
place.
really like opens your mind up and like takes you places. And
Right.
to your point, to be in your same environment, to be sitting on your couch in the comfort of your home and be able to go to those places, and it's powerful. I
It's
heavily recommend reading, right?
it's
Like
just like when
for
somebody
sure.
in prison, bro. Like you
Yeah,
hear
right. Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
these people who in prison and they come out and they build these businesses, right? It's like, and I just listened to a podcast the other day, and dude was, I don't know how long he was in prison, but he was like, I knew my environment wasn't going to change for a while, so I started reading, right? And as he read, like his mind started to be opened up to all these different things as it related to business and bettering himself and
And
improving
that boy,
his
and that
life.
boy, that boy had a lot of time on
Hey,
his hands
a
too.
whole lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got much else you can do up in there.
You know
You
what I
feel me?
mean? Like,
But when he got out, like you got all these knowledge, right? And with that, it's like, shoot, man, there's endless opportunities that are awaiting me out here on the other side that I didn't know before I came in here. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh, certain books. I mean, yeah, certain books probably are banned, but whatever you can get your hands on. I mean, if you're not in prison, but if you're outside and you're dealing with
this ain't for just people who locked up, but
right, you understand this ain't. But if you're on the outside, right, and you're dealing with situations and you're in just a challenging environment, just that same kind of concept, right? Like opening up a book, having a different perspective, and seeing it from different angles. It's like, okay, no, I don't have to be in this situation. Like I know this person went through it and they got through it. So hell, I can do it too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's my spiel
Yeah, but
on
hey,
reading books.
really greatly appreciate everybody who tuned in. Everybody that goes back and watches the lives. We greatly appreciate y'all. Can't
Absolutely.
say it enough. We got a lot of things coming. Said kind of spilled the beans on a couple of them earlier. If y'all didn't catch it, you can go back and watch it. But yeah, we got some stuff in the works. Been saying it for a while, but actually the wheels is actually turning. So it's in motion.
Yeah.
So a lot to share soon. As always, be sure to check the link in the bio. It links you to our website with all of our kits. And you can go back and watch all of our past episodes on our Instagram page in the live. A lot of dope topics that we've covered. Said it brought up the emotional intelligence, which is episode 14. So you can either go watch that, check out the kit on our website. But with all that said, hey, we'll be back at y'all next week.
Next
And
week,
if you don't do nothing else,
September. Yeah,
keep
yeah.
it thorough.
Keep it thorough. Till next
We
time.
out.